welcome back to Three Gossip Girls. Tonight we're discussing season 2, episode 3, Great Reputations. TV Fanatic stated, the strongest aspect of Great Reputations was the pacing. My biggest qualm with the reboot has been overstuffed episodes, but this was the first time it felt every scene was necessary to advance the plot. This is the first time I have felt that way. I loved when Michelle texted me and was like, wow, you're so gonna love this episode, aka hate this episode. And on the contrary, I actually enjoyed it the most. I think, since season 1, end of season 1.
I love getting the audio last night. Contrary. Or it was like, on the contrary,
On the contrary.
Mitchums. I was like, oh shit, she liked it.
I did like it. I liked seeing the different sides of people, and then obviously there's the same sides of people, which we'll get to, but Monet is like so interesting to me, and so the fact that we're centering most of these episodes around her, at least right now,
Yeah.
I'm into. I find her to be, obviously I've said it last week, like she is mostly like Blair, and Blair ended up being the most interesting to me overall as a core character.
Yeah.
So
Sure.
I love watching Monet. I think it's great. Also, I mean, they're all gorgeous, but she was like so heartbreakingly stunning in this week's episode that I was like, God, I just want to be you.
She's
so
exquisite.
Beautiful.
She's exquisite.
The hair,
everything. I mean, and so is Luna.
I know.
Like,
I know. Flawless. They're all flawless.
Gorgeous people. It's wild. I'm happy to hear that you enjoyed this episode.
What did you not like about it?
Well, okay, when I watched it, I had to keep reminding myself, like, don't care so much. Like, it was so ridiculous. I was like, what the fuck? Like, it felt so Gossip Girl, which was good. Maybe I was in a weird mood, but I thought all like the weird back and forth, and then involving Obi and Julian, and then the thruple with trying to get the C men to do drugs again.
Oh yeah, that was stupid.
Cool.
Stupid.
Like, listen,
that was the least part.
Hate this.
That was the worst part of the whole episode. Was that?
Yeah, and then the end I liked, and I liked that Monet essentially stuck to her heart, and I appreciated that.
Agreed. Yeah, it's funny, the beginning of the episode, like I said to Michelle on audio, I was like, I didn't take notes. I sat in my bed with my little cup of tea, and I was just like, I'm going to enjoy this episode for what it is. And I, in the beginning, very much pictured me watching old Gossip Girl, and I was seeing Leighton Meester in Monet, and I was seeing Blake Lively in Julian. I was like, okay, let me just hone in on those characters who they're very much representing to me. And I'm like, okay, I finally got there.
Yeah.
I have arrived with, like, I know this is a ridiculous show. So was the original. What was the original having that I wasn't seeing here? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Is there a lot of usage of additive words still? Absolutely. I feel like we're not getting to the point when people talk in this show, in this particular reboot. But, such as Gossip Girl. I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I felt like TV Fanatic said, like, each scene was necessary to the plot of the episode. So the throuple, I feel like that was it, what we just discussed. It's basically about keeping up appearances. Like, that's the whole premise of their relationship in a way. Like, everything is about what the audience sees and not what, like, mostly all we see is them talking about what other people think. And we never get to see them truly just kind of like relax and chill and be a couple. It's always mostly about the other people watching.
Right. And it's mostly for Max. Max
and
has
right.
lost his lure, and because he's kind of become dull because he's in a relationship, he needs to prove that he's not like that, even with his Uber rating.
Right.
And I was like, okay, all right, I'm here for it, I guess. That's why I was like, Michelle, just remember. And I also, like you, watch in bed. no phone, no notes, just fully go into this world. But some parts in this episode was like, okay,
Yeah.
I can't, I.
Yeah, and that this storyline was the like I said before, probably the most boring and useless
Yeah,
part of the episode. We didn't really like I feel like even though it's a different plot, it's still the same plot.
right.
Everything is about, how they have to prove something to New York City, basically. And I don't know, just a bit tired. And from the Mighty felt and funny because in this episode it's like Max has fallen, and that's how I feel with my love for him is because now he's less interesting.
Yes.
He's has less depth because he's caring so much about what other people think about him. And
Yeah.
maybe he was like that all along and we just saw like this tormented version of him. But like this version of him, being in a relationship is boring for me with him.
Yeah.
He doesn't
Right.
thrive in it. And he's obviously uncomfortable in it. It not being in a throuple, just being in a relationship. Like he's not
Yeah.
thriving.
Yeah. There's some learning curves here and growing pains with
And I
it.
find Aki and Audrey to not even need to exist. Like they're so lackluster for me. I forget they're even on the show. And that's like crazy to say, and I apologize to them as characters. But when you think of this show now, for me is Monet, Julian,
Zoya,
Max, Zoya. I'm like, oh
Sean.
yeah, right. Audrey and Aki. They're so on the bottom for me because they're not really, while they're incorporated in this relationship, which they should be very present, but it's not. It's very Max focused.
And
So I
perhaps
don't
this
know.
season isn't for Audrey and Aki like it was last
Right.
season.
And right. First season, it was very much focused on them and figuring out what they wanted in their relationship and what was working, what wasn't working. So yeah, I guess everyone needs their time to shine. And this is definitely Monet's time to shine.
Yeah.
And that's
I
cool.
I also definitely could have done without Kate's dad.
Yes, the dad in itself, but the situation I felt was necessary for her as a character because this was the only episode I felt her to be tolerable in. I was like,
Yeah.
okay, all right, I'll take it. She's, defeated because her dad does this time and time again. We can kind of see what makes Kate who she is and why she's so
Yeah.
neurotic and high strung about everything is because she kind of had to always take control. And I liked that. And I liked her and Mike teaming up. And obviously, I'm excited to see who he's potentially in cahoots
Who's
with.
he in cahoots with? Who do you think?
I don't know. People in the chat were saying maybe Georgina,
Oh
which would
my
be epic.
god. Please, 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 please.
Yeah,
I live for Georgina.
same.
When we were on the Lonely Boys last week podcast, I wanted to say Georgina was my favorite, but I don't remember when we met Georgina.
Oh, she's in season one.
She is, isn't she?
Yeah, absolutely. She's a
That's
very big
right.
focus because Serena and the
With the
whole.
roommate. Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Because Georgina truly is
Yeah,
my
no,
favorite.
she's there from the beginning and she stays epic until
Yes.
the last day.
I mean, Georgina is necessary, and the fact that we got Milo last season. So, oh my God.
Yeah.
That would be great. That would be great.
It would be great. It could also be Camille,
Yeah, it could.
but it's someone who cares about Gossip Girl. You know,
And
maybe it's
power.
someone
It's
from The
power.
Spectator.
The spectator.
The Spectator. Maybe it's Nelly Yuki again. Maybe, someone needs to be on top of Gossip Girl. Because really, and we talked about this last week, but like the Gossip Girl is dwindling. Nobody cares really what's going on with Gossip Girl. It's not like the cool thing to do anymore.
They do and they don't though, because these
Right.
kids are still addicted to see what Gossip Girl is saying. I mean, even Monet was like, "Are you going to submit us kissing to
Yeah,
Gossip Girl? Like, are we going to go public on Gossip Girl?" So as much as they
true.
don't care, they really
They
do
do.
care.
They do. They just act like
Yeah.
they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, so let's talk about Julian. She was really desperate in this episode, and then she realizes she wants to make peace with Obi and Grace, but really just to make herself feel better, and then
Yeah.
just says, fuck it, I am who I am, and I'm gonna do this like hallucinogenic. What was that? Didn't even know. Didn't clock what that medication pill,
It's just a drug, I
just
think.
whatever it
I think
was.
Julian, and this is probably a statement that I don't need to make, but she is so much like Serena,
Yeah.
where we're not seeing it's the same story and not growth. Like,
Yes.
I don't see a progression here. Like, there's going to be these moments of, like, yeah, I'm going to do this and get like a thought. And I don't care about the numbers or the likes, but like, I'm still in it. So I do care. And it's a battle. You're not healed overnight. Rome wasn't built in a
Absolutely.
day.
Right. Yeah, I think she's getting more self-aware, and she
Yeah.
knows that the actions she's making are selfish and why she does them. But then in this episode she was like, "Yeah, I know I am being selfish in my thought process, but I am who I am, so I'm just going to go with it." Where Obi is like, "Wow, I really need to kind of get away from you people." He's still
Obi.
unbearable, but I mean, do you feel a little slightly bad for him in this episode?
No.
No?
I just don't really care for him. And
Same.
he called Julian for her to keep things under wraps,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess she would be the one to do it, but also you're leaning on her, but also don't tell Grace. And also she gives
Yeah,
Grace
he's
away.
still in the manipulation situation, even though he
Yeah,
claims to be so above it.
right.
He's not. And then Grace, wow, she's fake as fuck.
Grace.
I mean, we knew something was off with her,
Yeah.
and the way she really plays it up between Monet and Julian, how she's this like little angel, and how, Obi's so great, my mom's gonna love him. And then we meet her friend, what's her name? My goodness. Tiffany. Sorry, it took me a second. And then when Monet meets Tiffany and Tiffany's like, "Are we talking about the same Grace?" I'm like, "What are we talking about here?"
Yeah.
And then she's cheating on Obi.
With Tiffany's boyfriend?
Oh, is that who it is?
That's
I
who
didn't
I thought it
even
was. But maybe not. Maybe I
I
just
didn't
confused the
know
two.
if we knew who this person was. I just knew that it wasn't Obi, obviously. I didn't know who I was expecting to be when she opened the door. She's like, "Oh, I just wanted to say goodbye. I couldn't say
Yeah.
goodbye without seeing you." And I was like, is it gonna be Tiffany and they're gonna talk about something? But no, she just starts making out with this guy, and I didn't even clock if that was her boyfriend. So,
I think it's Tiffany's boyfriend.
well, that is pretty bad then.
Yeah, good. I'm glad we're making her not so.
Yeah, because it was
Ugh.
so boring
She's so sweet in a very
in an
not
annoying way.
good way.
Yeah. Yeah, agreed. And Obi needs to be done with that because we need to see something different from him because he's boring
So boring.
and annoying. And you know what? Honestly, Zoya was a little annoying this episode too.
With her dad.
Yeah. While what Nick is doing justifies her actions, I didn't feel like she needed to go to the Guggenheim and like confront him there.
Okay,
Not
so
the
Nick,
time and place.
what Nick was lying, but he's not lying, and now he lost two jobs, but now Monet's dad's like, "No, you're
I like that
hired."
you're an asshole.
And Zoya's pit. I'm like,
I
"What?"
think he was obviously leveraging having a deal with the Dehans to get a job offer with, I forget what other company that
Yeah.
was, whatever law firm. And that obviously blew up in his face because he doesn't tell his daughter the truth. And also, Davis is pushing on him, telling him that, he's giving him this money, that Julian should get the bigger bedroom. What
Which
was with that?
how does Davis know?
Right. How does he know the situation?
Who's
Because Julian doesn't talk to him.
right? Like, who's getting what bedroom? You could just be like, "Okay, Davis, you have no idea
Right.
what's happening inside these walls."
Right. That was a weird argument. They could have
Yeah,
probably came up with something else that would have been more justified, that Davis would have, wanted.
I agree.
But Nick, you know, just as frustrating as always. And, you know, haha to him that Zoya blew it up in his face, I guess. But also then he did get that job. And now it's going to strain their relationship because Zoya doesn't obviously believe in any of the practices that the Jahans do. And
Right.
so they're gonna not, you know, they're not gonna see eye to eye in this. And is he a lawyer? Is that a law firm? Like, what is he? Is he gonna be their lawyer, or
Oh,
he's just
Monet's
gonna,
dad?
yeah, like, is he just gonna like work
I
for
don't
that
know.
company and just get money, like a financial planner or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
What was he gonna be? What was the position there?
Yeah,
I
what's
don't know.
this transaction?
But you know, again, kind of flatlined a little bit. Will
Yeah.
actually says, "What is in store for Zoya? It seems like her character has flatlined while Julian is soaring this season."
I
In a
think there's
way,
still time for Zoya.
I think so too. But yeah,
Just
they're really, besides her with Shan, which we
yeah.
said last week we really enjoyed. This week, meh.
You almost forget her and Obi dated.
I know, and you kind of almost forget that him and Julian have dated, but they're more. It's more in the back of my head that they did because now they're friendly. We haven't seen Zoya and Obi really have a connection in a
No.
long time. But yeah, oh God. That was so long ago at this point.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know, like beginnings of first season. That was a hot mess.
yeah.
Yeah. Um and then at the end of that episode though, what's his name? Nick is on the phone
Yes.
and Shan overhears via FaceTime.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, because Shan is the one who thought something was up to begin with, filled Zoya in. Zoya was like, "You're right," and now we have more. I don't think Shan's going to say anything.
I don't think so either. I think it's gonna weigh heavy on her, and then Zoya's gonna find out, and for some reason, she's gonna find out that Shan knows, and then they're gonna have a big altercation. That's gonna suck.
Have you looked to see when Michelle Trachtenberg is coming?
I haven't.
I haven't either. I kind of want to be surprised, but I
True. Let's be
also
surprised. I'm
want
good
to
with being
know.
surprised.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like we missed a lot of Luna in this episode.
I know. Like little glimpses of
Glimpses
her
of her.
knowledge, but
Yeah.
nothing. Yeah, just little glimpses.
Yeah. Would you say you had an MVP?
I would say my MVP was actually Monet.
I think so too. Just for the last part of her journey in this episode where
Yep.
Tiffany basically is pretending to be gay for clout, and that way Gossip Girl and everyone will call her relevant and care about her, which is
Yeah,
disgusting.
she's queer baiting.
Yes. And Monet's like, no, actually, I'm going to be true to who I am, and that's not okay.
Yeah.
And even Julian was surprised. She's like, really, Monet? You're not going to, like, you know, try and work it out with her and become this fake power couple? She's like, no, I'm going to stand my ground. So I'm proud of her for that.
Yeah, I was really proud of her for that. It's like,
Yeah,
thank you. So she does have a moral compass.
she does. She
Yeah.
very much like Blair. Blair did, you know, have it pretty much.
I think,
Sometimes.
yeah, I mean, Monet is definitely more vicious than
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
Who do we think is the shittiest?
Like racking my brain. Um, I mean, it's like a cop out to give it to Tiffany.
Yeah.
I don't even know
She's
if we'll see
also a
her again.
teenager.
Yeah.
Probably won't see her again.
I don't
What
know.
about Great Grace?
Yeah, Grace is pretty shitty.
But then you see, I mean, her mom is also
Oof.
pretty shitty.
Her mom having those talks with Obi, so
At
uncomfortable.
first, I had a feeling that she was going to say that he couldn't be friends with Aki. I don't know
Yeah.
why, because it made it seem like it was this like, no, this is a relationship that means a lot to him. And I was like, oh shit, it's gonna be Aki because it's gonna be something with like the families. But no, it was Julian.
Yeah, it was weird. It was
I'm like,
so
okay, he probably doesn't
weird.
care.
I know. Like that was so weird to me. And I don't know if she was doing that because of Grace. Like I'm doing this for
Maybe.
my daughter or Julian's dad, Davis, with that whole thing.
Right?
And
Maybe
that
she
like
doesn't. Obviously, the publicity on him is not good.
yeah, but
Ugh,
then Aki, well, actually, Aki's dad is probably very like minded that she is.
probably.
So she probably
Yeah,
wouldn't mind that. Yeah.
agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess Tiffany would be the shittiest. And Nick,
Nick also,
shitty.
just because he's still just doing some shisty shit and
Is so,
annoying.
excuse me, just, and it's not even like exciting to watch. I'm almost just like, get found out already so we can move on because
Agreed.
I'm over this like secret
Agreed. I
because
know.
he's not following through in this likable way. It's like mischievous, but it's just boring.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
I do have a Will's treat,
Yay.
which is gonna make me hungry and thirsty. They are Starbucks orders. So we have Zoya iced white chocolate mocha, a little cold lately, but nonetheless a favorite. Julian iced brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso. This drink is a lot, but a little personality is better than no personality. Looking at you, Obi. Audrey, chai latte, a complex mix of flavors that is simply delicious. Max, Java chip frappuccino, the best drink on the menu. It's like also like an ice cream milkshake.
Yeah.
Aki, iced americano, understated but enjoyable. Luna, caramel frappuccino, solid all around. Monet, pink drink, just way too much. Kate, almond milk, honey, flat white. Both are flat and white. And also like an what I've had that before and it's just like the flavors are so out of the just all over the place that I feel like
Because of
that
the honey? I've only had flat whites, not because of the
it's
not with
because
the
no, it's
honey.
because of the honey for
Oh,
sure. The honey is you think it would be good, but like the nuttiness of the honey it just kind of didn't work. I only had the one time. Maybe I had a bad version, but I feel like that works for Kate.
yeah.
Nick, iced latte, meh. Jordan and Wendy, peppermint mocha, they have their moments. Shan, caramel macchiato in the same group as the frappuccino, solid. Grace, pumpkin spice latte, basic and overrated. And Obi, vanilla latte, enough said. That
That's
was
so
perfection.
wow, Will. I very much loved hearing Starbucks drinks like what you think would be a favorite. Cause like I think my choices would have been different, but this isn't Michelle's treat.
Right. I mean, if I was like really going to hell with myself, I would definitely obviously get a frappuccino. It'd be fun. It's like a milkshake. But like
Yeah.
for energy and for like the comfort of coffee, definitely would never go steer in that direction. Out
Yeah.
of those, I don't think I've ever had a white chocolate mocha. I
Same.
don't drink chai. Um, I've had a pink drink. I do enjoy it, but I don't get it the right way. I get it like with less stuff in it. Like I said, the almond milk honey latte, too much. Peppermint mocha, I do enjoy that. Like if I'm feeling frisky on like a shopping situation, like at 3 p.m., it's not like my morning coffee. It's something
No.
I'm
That's a
like, oh,
treat.
I just want a little treat, little
That's a
treat.
treat.
And a
Yeah.
PSL, not my jam, but I have had it. Everything else, I kind of just get as I said on this week's We Are Liars, like I'm into the cold brew from Starbucks.
Yeah.
And yet it's negative degrees out, so why would I be drinking that? Hence why I haven't been to Starbucks in a while. Just been
You went
making my
last
coffee
week.
at home.
You
I
went
went
last
last
Thursday.
week for our podcast, but other
Yeah.
than that, I don't really go anymore.
Yeah.
It's good
Well,
for the pocket.
I had it
So,
today. I did leave the house to go get I had stars. So I was like,
oh, well you have to,
I'll leave
you
the
have
house for
stars.
free coffee.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. And I guess, next week will be episode 4,
Yeah.
and we'll see
Wow.
what happens there. And then we're only a few more weeks. I wonder if they're going to take a break, a little hiatus break for the holidays.
I thought so. Let me do a quick Google. Gossip Girl 2021. Yep.
Is he doing laundry? I feel like I hear my dryer.
Really?
I just like notice it. Maybe the dishwasher? I don't know.
December 8th. They're not showing.
Oh.
We'll
It's
see.
just all a fucking secret with them.
It is always a fucking secret. So true.
Yeah. So we'll be surprised and we'll be back to cover it whenever that episode comes out. And hope you guys enjoyed, because I did.
Yeah. Comment below, like patrons. This is for you.
This is
So
yours, your little
this is your gift.
baby. Your
Gift to
gift for the
you.
holiday season.
So
Let us know if
participate.
you're enjoying. We want to know what you're liking, what you're not liking, who's your favorite, what you're looking forward to, predictions, because we're all newbies here, guys.
True.
So let's predict together. When's Georgina coming?
Yes.
All right. See ya.